So you're a cybersecurity pro and you're ready to make that leap, for managing projects to actually leading the entire security program. Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today, we are diving deep into the ISSMP certification, what I like to call the catalyst for security leadership. Let's get right into it. And this is really the big question, isn't it? You're already good at your job. You're influencing policy. You're translating all that technical risk into something the business can actually understand. But how do you put a stamp on it? How do you formally prove you've got the strategic vision to run the whole show? Well, that's the exact gap the ISSMP was built to fill. So let's kick things off with what this certification really is. This isn't just another technical badge to slap on your LinkedIn profile. No, you've got to think of it more as a formal recognition, proof that you can lead, you can govern, and you can align security with the highest levels of business strategy. To put it simply, the ISSMP is ISC2's advanced credential for security management. See, while other certifications might test your broad security knowledge, which is great, the ISSMP goes deep on leadership. We're talking about things like building strategy from the ground up, managing risk across the entire enterprise, and making sure the business can bounce back from pretty much anything. And this is why it carries so much weight. First off, it validates outcomes, not just technical know-how, but can you actually lead? It's recognized by huge players like the US Department of Defense, and it's internationally accredited. But honestly, the most important part? It signals to the executives, to the C-suite, that you don't just get security tech, you get the business of security. So let's just boil it down. The bottom line is this. If your career goal is to have a seat at that table, where the big security decisions are made, to be a security director or maybe a CISO, then the ISSMP is the credential that proves you have the chops to be there. All right, let's say you're on board. You're thinking, okay, this is for me. But what does that journey to actually getting certified look like? Well, in this section, we're going to map it all out, from the prerequisites to the exact knowledge areas you'll need to master. The cool thing is that ISSC2 gives you two clear paths to get here. Path 1. If you already have your CISSP, awesome. You just need 2 years of relevant work experience in the ISSMP domains. But if you don't have a CISSP, no worries. You can still qualify with 7 years of cumulative experience. It's all about showing that you've really lived and breathed security management. Now, pay close attention to the weighting here. Just look at that. Over 40% of the entire exam is dedicated to leadership and risk management alone. That tells you everything you need to know, right? The ISSMP isn't testing if you can configure a firewall. It's testing if you can justify the firewall's budget to the board and weave its function into the company's big picture risk strategy. This is a management and governance exam, through and through. And this is what that all means in the real world. You're basically shifting from doing the work to governing the work. So instead of being the person running incident response, you're overseeing the entire governance of the Security Operations Center. Instead of coding securely, you're managing the whole secure development lifecycle. Every single domain is a step up, moving from tactical day-to-day stuff to high-level strategic oversight. Okay, so let's get practical. Knowing what's on the exam is one thing, but preparing for it effectively, that's a whole different ballgame. So we've laid out a simple 10-week roadmap to get you from day one all the way to being exam ready. A 10-week plan makes this whole thing feel so much more manageable, right? You start in week 1 by just being honest with yourself. Where are your strengths and where are your gaps? Then for weeks 2 through 7, you dedicate a full week to each domain. And those final 3 weeks, that's your training camp. You're mixing up practice questions, fixing your weak spots, and most importantly, mastering your timing. This structure is designed to prevent cramming and really build your confidence. And as you study, I want you to lean on these 3 pillars, seriously. First, the official exam outline from ISC2 is your Bible. It's your single source of truth. Second, you have to practice in 2 different modes. Go slow and untimed to really understand why an answer is right, and then go fast and timed mode to simulate the real exam. And third, this one is absolutely key, make it real. When you study business continuity, think about a real outage you had to manage. When you read about policy, think about a real one you helped write. That's what makes the knowledge actually stick. And this is such a crucial mindset shift. Those last few weeks of your prep should not feel like a frantic rush to learn new stuff. It's all about building the mental stamina and the rhythm to accurately answer 125 questions in 3 hours. You got to treat it like you're training for a marathon, not a last-minute sprint. Okay, let's talk logistics and numbers. Because earning a leadership certification is a real professional investment, right? So let's break down exactly what that entails, from the exam itself to the ongoing commitment. So, what can you expect on exam day? Well, first up, you're going to be facing 125 questions. And it's not just your standard multiple choice. It's a mix that includes some more advanced formats, all designed to test how you'd apply these concepts in the real world. And you get 3 hours on the clock to get through all of them. Now, if you do the math, that's just under a minute and a half per question, which is exactly why all that timed practice we talked about is so critical. The initial investment for the exam voucher is usually around $599 here in the US, and it's really best to think of this not as a cost, but as the price of admission to that next level in your career. And just remember, this investment is ongoing. It's not one and done. To keep the certification active, there's an annual fee, it's about $135, which actually covers all your ISC scored certs, and you have a requirement to earn continuing education credits. This just ensures your leadership skills never get stale, which is a good thing. And now for the best part, the return on that investment. What does earning the ISSMP actually do for your career? Let's talk about the tangible rewards and the doors this certification can really swing open for you. This is the payoff, right here. You gain instant credibility in the boardroom because you're now certified in speaking their language, the language of risk, of strategy, of business value. It opens up all kinds of opportunities in highly regulated industries, and it puts you squarely on the path to those senior leadership roles like security director or deputy CISO. And of course, that leadership path comes with a very clear financial return. According to ISSCO's own data, the average salary for somebody holding an ISSMP in North America is around $146,000. That's because this credential just signals a level of expertise that commands a premium. But at the end of the day, the value is so much more than just the salary. This quote just nails it. The real return here is a transformation. It's the confidence you get to brief a board. It's the language to translate risk into strategy. And it's the complete toolkit you need to lead a security program and lead it effectively. So there you have it. We've laid out the what, the why, and the how. The path to security leadership is right there in front of you, and the ISSMP is an incredible vehicle to get you there. The only question left is the one you see on the screen. Your leadership journey starts now. What's your first step going to be?